my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today I've got another book talk video to share with you guys. And today we're going to be talking about Strange Weather by Joe Hill. Now, I'm about to make a pretty large proclamation here, and that is that Joe Hill is one of my favorite writers, like period, of all time, hands down. Over the past years as he's been releasing his work, he's just proven time and time again that he is a cut above. I've reviewed some of his books on here before. Last year's The Fireman, the year before that, Nosferatu, and there's just everything that I've read of his has been a hit with me. Now, for anyone who's unfamiliar, Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King, and brilliance obviously runs in this family. He's great. So let's just jump into talking about the book before I go on gushing anymore like I have been. Strange Weather is a collection of 4 short novels or novellas, and each one packs a pretty great punch. What I love about short stories, and I do love short stories, is that they get to the heart of the matter so quickly. There's no wasted words, there's no wasted scenes, everything is important and everything is there for a reason. And Joe is great at that. He's great at that in this collection, he's great at that in the other short story collection that I know I've talked about here on this channel that he's written, and it's excellent. So like I said, there's 4 stories. The first one is called Snapshot. This might have been my favorite of the 4. It's about a young boy who lives in Colorado, and right at the very beginning, something weird is happening. His neighbor is standing outside of his home, like at the end of the driveway. She's barefoot, looks disheveled. There's clearly something wrong with her. So being the excellent, warm-hearted boy that we come to know he is, he goes down, tries to take care of her, gets her home to her husband. She's an elderly woman who has babysat him when he was a small boy for many years, and she was just a really important part of his life. And we begin to learn that she's really confused. She's losing her memories, perhaps her mind, and we don't know why at first. Anyway, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, so I'm not going to. But we begin to learn that there's a man in town who has this very strange device. And it looks sort of like a Polaroid camera. And as the protagonist begins to put together the pieces, so do we. And that's that whenever this man takes a picture of somebody with this camera, he extracts from their mind a memory. Like, that's terrifying. That's so scary. This one was so scary to me. And so yeah, then throughout the story we learn who this man is, why he's targeting this woman, and it all comes together, and it was a great story. Next up, the second story was Loaded. Loaded was excellent. It's a story about guns and the things we do with guns and the things that guns can do to us, and it's a really topical piece in my mind because of everything that's going on in the world right now, with all of the shootings that are happening down in America. So I thought it was just perfect timing for this story, even though I know that he started writing that one. I think in the acknowledgments he said he started writing that one in 2016. I feel like fall 2016. But it's such a good piece, and I think anyone could benefit from reading it. Third up, we have what I will say was probably my least favorite of the stories, and that was Afloat. It's about a man who is about to go skydiving with a woman that he's totally in love with, but she doesn't really reciprocate those feelings, and yet here he is on a plane getting ready to jump out. Then something weird happens, and she and her instructor go to jump out, He's like, I can't do it, so he stays. But then the plane begins to have engine troubles, and they have to jump. So they jump, he falls a very short distance, and then finds himself on a cloud. And lots of crazy things happen on this cloud. It's a fun story for sure. And I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't my favorite of the bunch. So yeah, then he finds himself on this cloud, and then what happens? Yeah, all kinds of stuff happens. And I liked the telling of it through the memories. I like that a lot. And then the final story in this collection was called Rain. And this one was pretty eerie as well. This one took place in Colorado again, and it starts off with a bang. This story, there's no time wasted, not in any of these stories, but especially in Rain. So one day, and quite out of the blue, it starts to rain in Colorado. And the weird thing about this is that instead of water falling from the sky, it is like sort of hardened crystals that have essentially formed like needles and knives, and they're falling from the clouds, and they are just killing anybody who happened to be outside when the downpour started. So scary. But so then the rest of the story goes on to tell the story of the woman who is being told through her perspective. Right at the beginning when this happens, her girlfriend and her girlfriend's mom had come because her girlfriend was getting ready to move in with her. It's a very exciting time, and unfortunately her and her mom are victims to this rainfall. So then the story kind of moves on. The rain stops, and the girl, Honeysuckle, she's the main character, she starts to make a trip to Denver or Boulder, I'm not entirely sure, but where her girlfriend was from, because she needs to tell the dad and husband what has happened to his wife and daughter. So we go on this journey with her, and it just, all kinds of crazy things happen. And then in the end, we realize, because throughout the story, they're trying to figure out why this is happening in the clouds, and it's spreading all across America and then eventually all across everywhere. And they start to believe that it's an act of terrorism, because these crystals that have formed could happen in nature, but like only around volcanoes or something, and it happening as it is completely impossible. But it could have been chemically engineered and used as sort of a weapon of terror. So they're thinking like ISIS or something else, some other group from over there are doing this to quickly and without notice kill as many people in America as possible. But we soon find out the real reason and what has actually happened. And it's a great story. So if you love short stories, now again, these are more short novels, ranging usually about 100 pages each. These are great. There's also, let me see if I can show you here, really beautiful illustrations to go along with some of the stories. And in the acknowledgments, he talks about he got 4 different artists to do the 4 different illustrations, or to do the illustrations for all 4 different stories. And the art's beautiful, the stories are great. Joe Hill is amazing. I cannot wait to see what he puts out next. He just, whenever I know that Joe Hill's got a new book coming out, I get so excited, because he's just, he's compulsively readable. Once I start, I can't put it down, and I absolutely love that. So before we go, I've got a shout out I'd like to share with you guys, and the channel today that I want to shout out is my good friend Amy Romo. This girl is just the sweetest. She's got this amazing channel. She's a hairdresser, so on her channel she does some, she shows like her doing some very drastic hair transformations on clients. She also does stunning makeup looks. She's so talented. I don't know how she does it, but she just does these really bold and fun and playful looks. Plus she's got a, I think it's called like Sunday Coffee Talk with Amy series that she does every so often, and I just love it. So please, if you are interested in any of those things, drop by her channel, tell her that I sent you, and Yeah, you won't regret it, I'm sure. So that's it for today, you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.